One of the biggest myths we've ever been taught around forgiveness is forgive and forget. Your brain was never designed to forgive and forget. We can't forgive and forget painful experiences simply because someone told us to move on. And as a matter of fact, brain research shows us the opposite. When something painful, humiliating, traumatic, or deeply disappointing happens, your brain says it's important. It tags it. Not because you're holding a grudge, but because your nervous system is trying to protect you from future harm. Your brain goes into survival mode. That's what our brains are designed to do. And yet so many of us grew up with forgive and forget. Just let it go. I think of the song with Elsa. And even if you really forgave them, you wouldn't still think about it or let go and let God. All of those phrases in context can be very invalidating. And that's the messaging that creates shame. And it's shame for being a human being, because forgiveness does not erase memory. That does not happen. What forgiveness does is it changes your relationship to the memory. It shifts the intensity. That's what it's supposed to do. Now, research from Stanford and Johns Hopkins, and another great resource of forgiveness research is discoverforgiveness.org. Discoverforgiveness.org. I get no money to tell you about that, okay? It's just a great resource. It shows that forgiveness practices, we know this, they can reduce stress, anxiety, depression, chronic anger, and even blood pressure. There's a lot of health benefits to it. But none of these studies, not one, and there's tens of thousands of them, say forgiveness deletes your memory, because it doesn't, right? Brain imaging studies show emotional memories remain accessible even after you've healed it. It doesn't go away. What changes is that emotional charge, and that's the game, and that's what's important. Many people think if I still remember it, maybe I didn't heal it yet. No, that's not true at all. You remember because you're human. And honestly, forgetting everything would actually harm you, not be good for your mental health. And some people would even say dangerous, because when someone betrays you and they do it repeatedly, your brain's supposed to protect you and remember patterns. And if a workplace violation happens and it violates your emotional safety over and over again, your nervous system is supposed to say, hey, wake up. This is not okay. If someone's manipulated, lied to, shamed, controlled, or harmed, your body stores that information. Forgiveness is not the removal of wisdom. You're not removing your wisdom. And this matters so deeply, especially in companies, because companies often want people just to move forward quickly, right? Just move. After there's a conflict, after maybe a leadership breakdown, maybe there's big layoffs, maybe there's toxic communication going on. One of the worst is public humiliation at work, right? Or even emotional harm. But avoidance does not erase the emotional residue, and it really is emotional residue. And actually, research shows unresolved conflict in the U.S. costs businesses hundreds of billions of dollars every single year through disengagement, absenteeism. Turnover is a big one. You're in a toxic culture, you're going to get the heck out of there. And of course, reduced productivity. Why? Because the body remembers what the mind tries to minimize. The body remembers what the mind tries to minimize. You can silence conversations, you can suppress emotions, you can pretend something different didn't happen to your own detriment, and unresolved emotional experiences often leak into how you communicate, your tone, your trust, your collaboration, creativity, decision-making even, and of course, my favorite, psychological safety. That's why forgive and forget is not only unrealistic, it can actually become emotionally harmful. It teaches us to distrust our own nervous system, to distrust our own intuition. And here's the thing. You can forgive someone and still remember what happened. You can forgive and still create boundaries. I'll give you two fast instances. I was molested as a kid. I talk about it very openly. And I've done a lot of forgiveness acceptance work. Have I forgotten this? No. No, I've only been working on it for 40 years, right? I'm 62 now. No, 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 no. I also have a relationship with a stepdaughter that I have no contact with because it's not good in my best interest and good for my mental health, right? So you can still forgive, and I feel a lot of forgiveness, and say no, okay? You can forgive and still say, that behavior is not healthy for me. Forgiveness isn't pretending that pain didn't exist, not even close. It's deciding that the pain no longer gets to unconsciously, and that's the key word, run your life. Because most of this stuff is unconscious. It's below the surface. And this is actually one of the most misunderstood parts of the work of forgiveness, because many people think forgiveness means reconciliation. No, you don't have to reconcile with anyone. It doesn't mean you get to be mean to them or nasty to them. That's not even close to what I'm saying. Some relationships heal beautifully. Some don't, okay? Some don't, and you can still get peace around that. It's like practicing an emotionally intelligent concept of, what's a good way to put it? Let's call it being complete with incomplete. Being complete with something that's incomplete. That takes a lot of wisdom and a lot of skill. Here's the other thing. Some people will apologize. Some will. Some never will. Some people are going to grow. Some people repeat the same behaviors for decades. I've seen it, right? Forgiveness is not always about restoring the relationship. Sometimes it's really about restoring yourself, right? That's why I created the apology you'll never receive. We'll be doing some videos on that in this playlist. So many of us are waiting for closure that will probably never arrive, and waiting for someone to finally acknowledge you and acknowledge what happened, finally validate your pain and say, I was wrong. You might be waiting a very long time, so you got to do it for yourself. Accountability matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, right? And you're in charge of your nervous system. You're in charge of your boundaries. This is why this work matters, not because what happened was unacceptable or acceptable, but because chronic resentment. If you're chronically resentful, that unresolved stress impacts you on a daily basis. We know this, right? So when people say, I want you to consider this. This is the thought I want to leave you with. When people say, I'll never forgive. I'm never going to forgive that. It's unforgivable. I hear that all the time through our Project Forgive. I'm wondering if the underneath layer is really, I've never felt safe enough to process what happened. That's powerful, because that's many times what's really underneath I'll never forgive, because you get stuck in those stages of forgiveness, which are shock, anger, grief, acceptance, peace. Shock, anger, grief, acceptance, peace. Sometimes people get stuck in anger, and then it migrates into deep bitterness, and then you're just not frickin' happy. So I'm wondering, those conversations of I'll never forgive, if they're really, wow, I never felt safe enough to really process the shock, the anger, the grief. And grief is what's most transformative. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Mwah! I'll talk to you soon. Bye.